Here's the central part of the problem. When it comes to privacy protections, we've created two worlds. For Americans, the privacy protection is like here. For people in other countries, it's more a little bit down there. Now, the CIA is allowed to operate in other countries with that level of privacy protection. And the concern here is for their 10 years at the NYPD, how did they function? Well, one group has forced the CIA to release an internal secret document, and even their own internal inspector general says that there were, let's see the words you use, irregular personal practices here. So here's the translation for irregular practices. In this case, it means 4 CIA employees embedded with the NYPD for a decade beginning in 2001, spying on, well, us, New Yorkers, Americans, with wide latitude we usually reserve for non-Americans.
The most troubling part is the fact that the Central Intelligence Agency is an agency that is not supposed to participate in domestic surveillance. It's explicitly forbidden. This is an agency that's supposed to just be focusing on foreign targets. And instead here we have them collaborating with a police department and engaging in what arguably is domestic surveillance.
Ginger McCall is with the Washington think tank EPIC, Electronic Privacy Information Center, which had to sue the government to find out the truth. Because when called out by the Associated Press a year ago, the CIA denied the AP report that their agents were engaged in domestic surveillance with the NYPD, spying on New Yorkers. The stripped-down document that EPIC got from a Freedom of Information Act shows the CIA's own Inspector General found that EPIC and the American public were deceived.
It certainly seems that way. The CIA then came out to the American public and said, our Inspector General has looked into this and has found that the CIA's collaboration was not in any way problematic. Everything was fine here, and there's no reason to be concerned.
While the CIA, like the blanked-out spot suggests, won't be too chatty on the subject, it is a fact that the CIA and NYPD collaboration began after the September 11th attacks, at a time many of us, truth be told, set a different threshold for the rules of the game, far lower ones. McCall says we should do better. Can an argument be made that following the September attacks, the September 11th attacks, that everything needed to be done right away in order to assure the safety of Americans and New Yorkers?
That these safeguards are all the more important in emergency times. If you look at the history of it, there's always some sort of foreign threat that we face. We had 40 or 50 years of Cold War, and now we've had about 15 or 20 years of counterterrorism. So I do think the protections are in place for a reason, and these protections are meant to be in place even at a time of war.
We asked McCall where this should all go, and she points to two things that are all related to this report that they got. Number one, she says that the CIA should acknowledge exactly what went on here when they were working at the NYPD for 10 years. The other thing, also stated in the report, is that there needs to be greater oversight on the management level. At police headquarters in Lower Manhattan, Arthur Chien, Pix 11 News. Tamsin?